How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Gage, and today I'm excited to show off my Cyber Dragon deck profile. It's a pure build, so you're not going to see any of that dragoon plays or anything like that. It's just going to be strictly Cyber Dragons in here, with a few tech cards, of course. I love being able to blind second, and with the recent release of, or reprint rather, of Naxter and Cyber Emergency, this deck has become more and more affordable, and I can't wait to show off the deck. If you are a fan of this type of content, please like and subscribe. It'll show your support, and I'll really appreciate it. Without further ado, I'm just going to hop right into it. Of course, if you're playing a pure Cyber Dragon build, then you're playing at least 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. It's a free special summon, it's a light machine, so it's easily searchable, and of course you want to make sure you have the 3 copies because we are playing machine duplication, so you want to have these live in your deck. You really don't want to draw into more than one so that you can have your machine duplication live. But yeah, it's Cyber Dragon, not much more to say. Great card. And of course, one of the best Cyber Dragon monsters in the deck. We're looking at triple Cyber Dragon cores, Nucleo Cyber Dragon, to flex my 2 Spanish copies. But yes, this is one of the best cards. It is going to search most of the spells and traps in your deck. This deck obviously has a lot of very powerful searcher cards, such as Cyber Repair Plant and Cyber Emergency. But it can also search Rev System, which is a Monster Reborn. This is a very powerful card, and of course, it's considered a Cyber Dragon on field and graveyard. And if you control no monsters, you can banish this card from the grave and special a Cyber Dragon from the deck. So you want to play at least 3 copies of this, the best normal summon in your deck. And of course, we're playing 3 Cyber Dragon Hertz, another great Cyber Dragon monster. Of course, it becomes Cyber Dragon on the field and in the grave. And if it's special summoned, it can become level 5. But realistically, you want to send this card to the grave so that you can add a Cyber Dragon card from your deck to the hand. It is, or graveyard to your hand, so you can recycle things like your Cyber Dragon core for follow-ups. It is a very, very strong card, and that's why you want to have at least 3 copies. We are playing 2 Cyber Dragon Naxter, a great card, not gonna lie. However, I don't think 3 is necessary. It's a great extender and is good for the late game, but it can be cloggy in your opening hand. Of course, it's Cyber Dragon on the field and grave, and you can discard a card to special summon him, and if you do, you can target a machine with 2100 attack or less and special summon it from the grave. So this can be really good for getting those plays where if you need additional monsters for link material, for fusion material, you can use Naxter to help you get there. The only downside is that it is a level 1, so he himself will not be able to help you get into your infinity plays, and that's why I'm playing just the 2 copies. I'm also playing Cyber Dragon Veer, essentially a free special summon. When you normal or special summon a Cyber Dragon, you could special summon him from your hand. He's level 4, so he's not the greatest, but of course he can help you to get into your link plays, as well as provide an additional Cyber Dragon name. And it's not the most optimal, but he's one of my favorite Cyber Dragons, Cyber Dragon Dry. If he's normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons you currently control level 5, which is relevant. Obviously, you want to be able to normal summon your core, so that is going to take priority. But there are instances in which, if you are able to get a Naxter onto the field, you can normal summon the Dry, and there you go. You have a Nova and Infinity play right there. And that's really the heart and soul of the deck. If you're able to get into your Infinity, you are sitting pretty good, and that's why I still like Cyber Dragon Dry. Is it the most optimal? Probably not, but he is just such a cool card and very nostalgic for me. And I am playing 3 Galaxy Soldier. It is a really good card. I know that some people are playing it at 2 copies, but no matter what, you can special summon him from your hand relatively easily, and you can search for another one in the deck. There are times where you draw into 2, so then you wouldn't be able to search for the other copy if you were only playing 2 copies. So Galaxy Soldier, it's a level 5. It helps you get into your infinity plays, and that's why I like having it at 3 copies. If it's at 3, the chance of me opening it in my hand is pretty high, and therefore I don't necessarily have to search it. And then I am also playing a bunch of really powerful going second options. I'm playing 1 Pankratops, 1 Eltanin, and 1 Jizukiru. These 2 are searchable and help for removing very problematic monsters like Dragoon. And of course, Pankratops, it's not a machine, doesn't really provide too much synergy to the deck, but for a deck that's going second, Pankratops is still a very strong option, very budget-friendly, and no matter what, you're able to put some board presence, and you can pop problematic field spells or problematic cards that can be targeted. So that's why I still like playing the Pankratops. I think it's worth it in a going second deck. And then I'm playing the one of Electromagnetic Turtle. This is actually a really cool tech that I've seen recently, where during your opponent's battle phase, you can banish it from the grave and end the battle phase, essentially giving you another turn and protecting any of your potential monsters. The thing about this is you are going to be going into Chimeratech Rampage, and Rampage can send 2 cards to the graveyard. You might send something like a Hertz to help you get your core back to your hand, but you can also send an Electromagnetic Turtle to be able to protect your monsters in the event that you can't OTK that turn. So I think this is actually a really cool tech, very easy to get into the grave with cards like your 3 copies of the Galaxy Soldier, and of course your Naxter being able to discard cards. So I think it's actually a really good option, and you should try it out yourself. And that's going to be it for the monsters. I am playing 3 copies of Cyber Emergency, obviously one of the most powerful searchers in the deck. It allows you to search a light machine monster that can't be normal summoned or set, or a Cyber Dragon monster from the deck to your hand. You could search your Eltanin, but of course you could search any of your Cyber Dragon monsters, essentially whatever card that you may need. Of course, if the activation is negated, say it's hit with Solemn Judgment, you could discard a card, add it back to your hand, and then activate it again. So be careful when negating the Cyber Emergency, because it might not actually end up doing all that much, because your opponent can just go ahead. You could just go ahead and use it a second time. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we are playing 3 copies of Machine Duplication. This is the God card, if you're able to open it up and have access to your core. This is what's going to let you get into easy infinity plays, and yeah, it's too powerful to not play at 3 copies, and you really want to see this in your opening hand in conjunction with something like core. And then I know that this isn't as popular, but with a pure Cyber Dragon build, I felt as though it was necessary. We're looking at 3 copies of Cyber Repair Plant. I love being able to search, and getting Cyber Dragons into your grave is super easy with this deck, and by having 3 copies of this, you are going to have access to the monsters that you need to continue comboing off. So I like playing 3 copies of it. It is unfortunately a hard once per turn, but at the end of the day, that is why you want to just have this card. It's nice to have access to it. And of course, 3 Cyber Rev System. It's a pure Cyber Dragon build. Yes, you can search this card, but if you are able to open with this card with the right combination of monsters in your hand, you can save your core's search for something else. And I just love that the fact that this is a Monster Reborn, and it helps you special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand, and is not once per turn. So if you have multiples of these and you're able to do so, you can continue to combo off really, really hard, and that's why I like running 3 copies of it. And I am playing Power Bond. It's not searchable yet. But with this card, you are able to go for some pretty nutty OTKs. Very powerful, allowing you to get into your Rampage Dragons, your Eternity Dragons, your Twin Dragons, pretty much anything that you will need to help you close out the game. It's unfortunate that it's not searchable yet, but I know that there is a card in the future that's going to be able to search this. We'll see if whether or not it's relevant, but I still love Power Bond. And then we are playing the one Cyberload Fusion and Overload Fusion. If you are able to get all three of these off, you're able to fuse from the hand, fuse from the grave, and fuse from your banished pile. These are all really, really powerful for helping you establish your really crazy boards that help you to OTK. And yeah, I still love running each of these. It's unfortunate that Overload is not searchable, but it is not absolutely necessary. Cyberload is, of course, a cyber spell, and this is searchable. And of course, we're going second, so Mind Control is a very powerful card, allowing you to get extra material for maybe some link plays. And we are playing one for one and one Foolish Burial, just typical, very powerful one-ups. And then the last card is the Cybernetic Overflow. This is really good at being able to give you some disruption if you are forced to go first. However, if you have a crazy hand, you are able to set this, go into something like a Chimeratech Rampage Dragon, which pops spells and traps. You can actually set this and pop it yourself to use its effect to search a cyber spell or trap from the deck to your hand, which is really, really good. So it's a pseudo searchable card, and that's why I really love having the Cybernetic Overflow. May even consider bumping it up to 2, but I found that 1 is just fine, especially since it is searchable. And guys, that's going to be it for the main deck. I'm going to go ahead and hop right into the extra deck. So without further ado, we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova. I really love this card. Obviously not the most optimal, but we are playing a pure build. And it's still a really good card. It helps you to go for your OTKs. It helps you to extend your combos by special summoning a Cyber Dragon from the grave. And of course, you are able to overlay the big boy himself. 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity, one of the most powerful cards in the deck, being able to take your opponent's monster and make it material, as well as being able to negate pretty much anything. You can negate a card activation or an effect activation. It is just so powerful, and yeah, that's why this deck is still really playable, because of cards like Cyber Dragon Infinity. Alright, and that's going to be it for the Xyz monsters. Now to go over some of the links. I am playing the Almirage, Link Karibo, and Cyber Dragon Seeger, all useful in a variety of different circumstances to help you get your Cyber Dragons, your cores, into the grave, and then being able to link climb from there. Seeger helps you with just 2 machines to be able to go and push for OTKs and go for some big damage, so I still like running the 1 copy. And of course, we are playing 2 Chimeratech Mega Fleet Dragon to help you clear out problematic monsters in the extra monster zone. Like I mentioned, if you're able to just get a Cyber Dragon onto the field, you can use your Cyber Dragon and your opponent's monster in the extra monster zone, so potentially a powerful Link 4 like Apollosa, and you could just use them to contact fuse into Mega Fleet Dragon, which is just super broken. I love this card, and that's why I like running 2 copies. And then one of the most powerful fusion monsters in the deck, you're looking at Rampage Dragon, where when it's fusion summoned, you can target spells on the spells and traps on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its summon, usually 2, and you can destroy them, as well as send 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the grave, and engage an additional attack during the battle phase for each of the monsters sent that way. So you are going to be swinging a ton of damage with this card, and yeah, that is pretty wild. You are able to, like I mentioned, send things like the Hurts to be able to add a core back to your hand for a follow-up next turn. You can send the Electromagnetic Turtle to protect your board in the event that you can't OTK. So Chimeratech Rampage is such a powerful option, and that's why I am running 2 copies. And then for really powerful fusion monsters, we have Cyber Twin Dragon, very easy to establish, can attack, make a second attack during each battle phase. You have the Fortress Dragon, which allows you to special summon itself by sending just a Cyber Dragon and a Machine Monster to the grave, so that helps you get some of your cards into the grave. And then we are playing one of the more recent Cyber Dragon monsters that came out, Cyber Eternity Dragon. It's really powerful. I mean, you only need a Cyber Dragon and 2 machines, and if you have a machine fusion monster in your grave, your opponent can't target this card with card effects, and it can't be destroyed. Of course, if this card is fusion summoned, if it's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you could special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and you can banish this card, and your opponent can't target fusion monsters you control with card effects. It is just bonkers. I mean, it is. You can sit on this card, and it has 2,800 attack. It is very, very powerful, and that's why I actually like playing one copy. It comes up every now and again, and you're happy to have it when it does. So guys, I don't have a side deck. You really just want to be able to side for your locals. I, of course, recommend hand traps like Ash Blossom, like Droll and Lockbird. Lancia is really good for the combo decks this format, as well as Nibiru. So go ahead and play those cards if you'd like. Right now, this is a very fun build. I encourage you to try it out. And that's going to be it for the deck profile. Let me know, what is your favorite Cyber Dragon monster? Mine is probably going to have to be Nova. Or Infinity, of course, because he is just the boss monster of the deck. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Alright everyone, this is going to be the test hand portion of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Hopefully I am able to, I'm just going to do one test hand for now. Hopefully I'm able to get into some of the stronger plays. And even if I don't, I could still show you what this deck can do, assuming that we go uninterrupted. So because we are blinded second, I will draw for a 6th card, and I will assume that my opponent has at least one monster on the field. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Oh my gosh, this deck is, it almost makes me want to reshuffle just because of how cracked this hand is. But we're going to just go for it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Cyber Dragon from my hand. Because we special summoned, we can go ahead and normal the Cyber Dragon core and use its effect to search for a spell or trap from the deck. I'm going to go ahead and search the rev system just so that we can really combo off here. All right. And now that we have those two, we can actually go for the machine duplication to get 2 more copies of Cyber Dragon from the deck. All right, so 1 and 2. All right, and so now we have an additional 2 copies of Cyber Dragon on the field. So that machine duplication will go to the grave. And then we can go ahead and link summon these 2 into our link monster, the Cyber Dragon Seeger. Now, because we still have 2 copies of the Cyber Dragon on our side of the field, we can go ahead and overlay into a copy of Cyber Dragon Nova. Cyber Dragon Nova can then use its ability to discard a card and special summon a Cyber Dragon from the grave. So you can actually special summon the card that you discarded off of his effect, which is pretty nuts. Now we can go ahead and use the rev system to special summon a Cyber Dragon from the grave. And now we can go ahead and overlay the Nova that we have into... Actually, we can use these 2 Cyber Dragons to go into another Nova, and then overlay that Nova with an Infinity. That way we have the maximum amount of detachable cards, so it's buffing his attack right now. And we still have the repair plant, so I'm going to go ahead and activate that repair plant to add a light machine from the deck to my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this Galaxy Soldier. All right. So now with the Galaxy Soldier, we can go ahead and special summon it by discarding a Cyber Dragon. So we will go ahead, discarding a Light Machine, in which case we could discard the Hertz. So now it will resolve. You can go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. The Cyber Dragon Hertz can add the Cyber Dragon core, because it's a Cyber Dragon engrave, back into your hand. Sorry, this is supposed to be in the grave. And your Galaxy Soldier will resolve by adding you another Galaxy Soldier to your hand. All right. And now I can actually, assuming I didn't use the Jizukiru, but we did have the Cyber Dragon core that we added back from the grave. So we can actually go ahead and special summon another Galaxy Soldier. You won't get the search, but you get the additional body on field. And again, you can overlay right under the Seeger to go into another Nova. So this is already a pretty powerful board. You have 2 Novas on the field, you've got your Seeger, you have the Infinity, very, very strong play. Instead of searching for the Rev system, you could have achieved the same board, but could have grabbed something like the Cybernetic Overflow for some protection if you felt like you wouldn't be able to pop off this turn. If you did have access to something like the Overload Fusion, you could have made this board even stronger by going into a Rampage Dragon. Right now, this is more than enough damage to be able to knock out your opponent. And as you can see, we generated an insane advantage. That hand was pretty cracked, but that's why I love Cyber Dragon, because even with its suboptimal plays, you're usually able to still go into at least one Infinity. It just so happens that we drew the God Hand. So guys, that's going to be it for my video. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.